Good morning. This is fourth grade math, lesson 151. This is a general review section, and so we have a test tomorrow. So this is pages 273 and 274. You also have a speed drill, lesson 151 speed drill. There's 3 minutes for that. So we're going to go through these flashcards. We're going to go through them rather quickly. So be ready, and I'm going to, we'll see how fast, if you can get it before me, okay? 6 times 11, 66. 7 times 6, 42. 12 times 3, 36. 10 times 8, 80. 12 times 12, 144. 7 times 12, 84. 11 times 10, 110. 3 times 7, 21. 6 times 9, 54. 9 times 12, 108. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 10, 50. 12 times 6, 72. 7 times 4, 28. 6 times 6, 11. All right. 6 times 11, 66. Oh, man. I think that's the second time I've done that. Maybe not today, but okay. We're going to do it one more time. Just see if you can, because that first time was kind of practice for me doing it that fast. So see what you can do this time. Okay. 6 times 11, 66. 7 times 6, 42. 12 times 3, 36. 10 times 8, 80. 12 times 12, 144. 7 times 12, 84. 10 times 11, 110. 3 times 7, 21. 6 times 9, 54. 9 times 12, 108. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 10, 50. 12 times 6, 72. 7 times 4, 28. 6 times 11, 66. All right, very good. Go ahead and pause. Go take your speed drill for 3 minutes, and then when you come back, we'll look at your page. All right. In general review, we're going to start with these solving and checking these equations now. Just as a reiteration, say it and again, when you do these equations, I want to make sure that you're writing everything down, okay? Because it is so important that you don't miss a step, okay? So here we have n, our unknown number n plus 8 equals 6 times 12. So which side can we do first? Can we simplify n plus 8 or 6 times 12? 6 times 12, okay? So n plus 8, we're going to leave that over there, and then 6 times 12 is 72. Okay, we just had that on flashcards a minute ago. All right, so now we have n plus 8 equals 72. In order to get n by itself, we need to do what? Subtract 8 from both sides. So n plus 8 minus 8 equals 72 minus 8. So now we have n all on its own, right? And 72 minus 8, if you know your multiplication tables, 8 times 9 is 72. So 8 times 8 would give us 8 less than 72, which is 64. Otherwise, you would have to do the subtraction, and you can put that over there. You can stack it and do your subtraction like that. 12 is 4, 6, right? Okay, so whichever way, if you know that off the top of your head, great. If you don't, work out the problem, that's perfectly fine. But I do want to see on your papers, there were a few that I didn't see all of the work, so I want to make sure that you guys are understanding to do all of this work, because if you don't write it all out, you could miss something. And we don't want you missing something. And so for this, n equals 64. We're going to go 64 plus 8 equals 6 times 12, okay? So 64 plus 8 is 72, right? And 6 times 12 is also 72. So we have the right answer, but n equals 64 is the answer, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, so on these equations, I would like you, there's only 3 of those, so I want you to do all of them. You can pick one of the 2 story problems. It might be easier to do the first one because they are about a person, so sometimes the first one's easier if you need something from the first one to do the second one. I'm not sure, but whichever one you want to do first, or whichever one you want to do is fine. And then section 3, do all of them. You're just checking to see which ones are correct or wrong. So if they're wrong, you just cross out the answer. If they're correct, you don't do anything, okay? And then into the review section, pick one. You can pick one of the divide and check. Make sure you do the check. Section 5 is completing the bar graph. So go ahead and do all of that. That won't take you but a little bit. And use a ruler or something straight, even a piece of paper, to help you draw those straight lines, because we want it to look like a bar, like that, okay, in there. So pay attention to that. If you turn it over, you can pick 2 from number 6 to do, and then you can pick one of the averages on 7. And just with the averaging, remember you're adding all of those numbers up and then dividing by the number of numbers that's there. Okay, so if you do the first one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so you'd be dividing by 5. If you do the second one, there's 4. Okay, and if you do the second one, make sure that you don't forget your decimal point in that, because it's money. Okay, and then the homework is doing the 8, 9, and 10 with the change. It gives you the dollar amount at the top for each of those, so it's the same amount, so $5. And you want to use the fewest coins possible, but also use dollars too if you can. And so don't use 2 nickels when you can use a dime, okay? And don't use dimes, a bunch of dimes, when you could use quarters. And don't use a bunch of pennies when you need a nickel or a dime. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that. And if you have any questions on that, you can let me know. Pardon me. Sorry about that. All right. So there's your work for this page. You do have a test tomorrow, so make sure that you know these things. And if you're struggling with something, please let someone know so that we can make sure that we help you, so that you can do well on the test and understand everything. With fractions, just make sure that you're reducing that to lowest terms. So if something can go into both numbers, if you've got like 30 over 50, okay, 10 can go into both numbers. So 30 divided by 10 is 3, 50 divided by 10 is 5. Or if it's got a 0 at the end of both numbers, you can take off a 0 from both numbers, but only as many as are in both numbers. So don't go taking off all the zeros if there aren't zeros in the other number, or enough of them, okay? Hope that didn't confuse you. And then anytime it comes out to a number over 1, it's just that number, okay? So, all right, I'm gonna let you get to it, and we will see you in the next lesson.